Rat and Mole waited patiently for what seemed a very long time. At last there was the noise of a bolt sliding back, and then the door opened a few inches. "Who is it?" said a rather gruff voice. "Oh, Badger!" cried the rat. "It's me, Rat, and my friend Mole, and we've lost our way in the snow." "What, Ratty, my dear little man!" exclaimed the Badger. "Come along in, both of you." The two animals tumbled over each other in their eagerness to get inside. The Badger, who wore a long dressing gown, carried a flat candlestick in his paw. "This is not the sort of night for small animals to be out," he said. "But come into the kitchen. There's a fire there and supper too." Once there, they could dimly see other long tunnel-like passages branching off in various directions. But there were doors in the hall as well. One of these the Badger flung open, and at once they found themselves in the large fire-lit kitchen. The floor was well-worn red brick, and on the wide hearth burnt a fire of logs. A couple of high-backed settles were facing each other on either end of the fire. In the middle of the room there stood a long table with benches on either side. The kindly Badger guided them to one of the settles, and bade them remove their wet coats and boots. Then he fetched them dressing gowns and slippers. He bathed the mole's shin with warm water and dressed the cut. When they were thoroughly warm, the Badger summoned them to the table to eat a delicious meal. As they dined, the Badger sat in his armchair at the head of the table, and listened as the animals told their story. When supper was finished, the Badger said heartily, "Now then, tell us the news from your part of the world. How's old Toad going on?" "Oh, from bad to worse," said the Rat gravely. "Another smash up." "How many has he had?" inquired the Badger gloomily. "Smashes or machines?" asked the Rat. "Oh, well, after all, it's the same thing with Toad. This is the seventh." "He's been in the hospital 3 times," put in the Mole. As for the as for the fines he's had to pay, it's simply awful to think of." "Yes, and that's part of the trouble," continued the Rat. "Toad's rich, we all know that, but he's not a millionaire. He'll either be gone or ruined." "Badger, we're his friends. Ought we to do something?" The Badger thought for a while. "Now look here," he said at last. "Of course you know I can't do anything now." His two friends agreed, quite understanding his point. No animal, according to the rules of animal etiquette, is ever expected to do anything heroic during the off-season of winter. "Very well, then," continued the Badger. "But when once the year has really turned, it's not before you know." Both animals nodded gravely. They knew. "Well, then," went on the Badger, "then we'll bring Toad back to reason. Well, you're asleep, Rat." "Not me," said the Rat, waking up with a jerk. "He's been asleep 2 or 3 times since supper," said the Mole, laughing. He himself was feeling quite lively. Badger's house suited him and made him feel at home, whereas the Rat, who slept every night in a bedroom beside a river, naturally felt the atmosphere quite oppressive. "Well, it's time we were all in bed," said the Badger, getting up and fetching flat candlesticks. "Come along, you two. I'll show you to your quarters, and take your time tomorrow morning. Breakfast at any hour you please." He conducted the two animals to a long room with two little white beds in it. Moments later, the two white beds contained one mole and one rat. The two tired animals came down to breakfast very late the next morning. When they did emerge, they found a bright fire burning in the kitchen, and two young hedgehogs sitting on a bench at the table eating oatmeal. "Where have you two youngsters come from?" asked the Rat presently. "Lost your way in the snow?" Yes, sir, said the elder of the two hedgehogs. Me and little Billy here. We was trying to find our way to school and we lost ourselves. At last we found Mr. Badger's back door. I understand, said the rat, cutting himself some rashers or sliced portions from a side of bacon, while the mole dropped some eggs into a saucepan. And what's the weather like outside? Oh, terrible bad, sir, said the hedgehog. Where's Mr. Badger? Inquired the mole. The master's gone into his study, sir, replied the hedgehog. And he said how he was going to be particularly busy this morning, and on no account was he to be disturbed. This explanation, of course, was thoroughly understood. The animals well knew that Badger, having eaten a hearty breakfast, had retired to his study. Once there, he had settled himself into an armchair and was being busy in the usual way at this time of year. The front doorbell clanged loudly, and Rat sent Billy, the smaller hedgehog, to see who it might be. Presently, Billy returned with the otter. Thought I should find you here, said the otter. They were all in a great state of alarm along the river bank when you didn't return home last night. But I knew that when people were in any fix, they went to Badger. My, it was a fine coming through the snow as the red sun was rising. I was about halfway when I came across a rabbit sitting on a stump. He told me that Mole had been seen in the wild wood last night. Weren't you at all nervous? Asked the mole. Nervous? The otter showed a gleaming set of strong white teeth as he laughed. Never! Here, mole, fry me some slices of ham. I'm frightfully hungry. So the mole, having cut some slices of ham, set the hedgehogs to fry it and returned to his own breakfast, while the otter and rat chatted about the river bank. A plate of fried ham had just been cleared and sent back for more when the badger entered. He greeted them all. It must be getting on for luncheon time, he remarked to the otter. You must be hungry. Indeed, replied the otter. The sight of these greedy young hedgehogs stuffing themselves makes me feel famished. The hedgehogs looked timidly up at Mr. Badger, who were too shy to say anything. Here, you two youngsters, be off home, said the badger kindly. I'll send someone with you to show you the way. Presently, the others sat down to luncheon together. The mole found himself placed next to Mr. Badger, and so took the opportunity to tell Badger how comfortable and homelike it all felt to him. Once well underground, he said, you know exactly where you are. The Badger simply beamed on him. There's no security or peace except underground. The mole agreed, and the Badger, in consequence, got very friendly with him. When lunch is over, he said, I'll take you round this little place of mine. After luncheon, the badger lightened a lantern and bade the mole follow him. Crossing the halls, they passed down one of the principal tunnels, and the wavering light of the lantern gave glimpses on either side of rooms, both large and small. The mole was staggered at the size. How on earth, Badger, he said at last, did you ever find time and strength to do this? It's astonishing. It would be astonishing, asked the badger simply, if I had done it, but as a matter of fact, I did not. You see, long ago on the spot where the wild wood stands now, there was a city of people. Here, where we are standing, they lived. They were powerful people and great builders. But what happened to all of them? What became of them? Asked the mole. Who can tell? Said the badger. People come, they stay for a while, and they go. But we remain. There were badgers here long ago, before that city ever came to be. And now there are badgers here again. When they got back to the kitchen, they found the rat walking up and down. The underground atmosphere was getting on his nerves. Come along, mole, he said as soon as he got sight of them. We must get off while it's daylight. It'll be all right, my fine fellow, said the otter. I'm coming along with you, and if there's a head that needs to be punched, You can confidently rely on me to punch it." "You really needn't fret, Ratty," added the Badger. "My passages run farther than you think. When you are ready to go, you shall leave by one of my shortcuts." Before long, the Badger led the way along a damp tunnel that wound and dipped for a very long distance. At last, daylight began to show itself through tangled growth near the mouth of the passage. The Badger, bidding them good-bye, pushed them hurriedly through the opening and hastily made good again the creepers and bushwood that surrounded it.